Welcome to session number 5 of Meditation for Resilient Educators. Glenn, Lori, and I are all glad that you're here to practice with us. We're going to be digging deep for some courage to see if we can sit with some difficult emotions. And as we continue to move beyond token land acknowledgements, we are being called to recognize that we're privileged and that we're responsible. So I'd like you to consider two things. As we move forward into a challenging year ahead and maybe a little bit of an uncertain future, two things to consider. What strength or strengths do you take with you into the future? And then maybe an area of need or an area of support that you will have. So again, an area of strength that you take with you and then an area of need. So Glenn and Lori, I'd love if you would share from your vantage point.
For me, one strength I feel like I have is once I set my mind to something, I'm pretty determined, and I will sort of bounce back and figure out how to sort of solve the problem if something is going on that I feel like I need to kind of work on. So I feel like that is a good strength for me. It is a strength that I have, and then a support that I would need is. Having people, having connection. And I know it's not physical connection, but really staying connected to, my colleagues, my family, my friends, like whatever the situation is, just staying connected and making sure I have those supports out there.
Great, thank you. Glenn?
I think a strength maybe moving forward would be some adaptability, or sort of just try to stay versatile and there's a lot of unknowns coming this fall, so being able to maybe pivot as we switch gears, or if something happens with a second wave and we have to go back to this or change the plan a little bit. So I think being versatile, a little bit ready for that as we move forward. Similar answer to Lori, probably about having the connection. Again, the fall, so many unknowns with what school's going to be and so on. But just staying connected to all the staff in the building. Even when we went to emergency distance learning, we sort of set up an asynchronous Google chat with the whole staff, including teachers, and it was teachers, EAs, office staff, custodial staff, the whole building sort of adults was all in this one chat, and you could post some fun things there, or just stay connected with someone, or wish someone a happy birthday, or ask a serious question about distance learning and get some sort of help. It's like a sort of little helpline where we help each other. So if we're at distance learning again, it'd be great to keep that going as well, and not being able to be close in the building, but try to stay close and in touch, I guess. That kind of support.
Yeah, that's great. Great. Thank you so much for sharing. I really appreciate it. So now we're going to do a little bit of a warm up, and we're actually sort of physically going to warm up. So we're going to take our hands together and just rub the palms together and feel that friction and how it gets warm in between. And if you're like me and have glasses, at this point, you're going to want to slip them off and then take those warm hands and just cup them over your eyes, and keeping the fingers as tight as possible to keep out any light. You can rest your head into your hands so the back of your neck is soft. You can close your eyes, soften the jaw, the forehead. Take a couple deep breaths here, and you can exhale with a sigh. And then keeping the eyes closed, you can let the hands slowly come down from your face. If you'd like, you can let the eyes open slowly and softly. And we're going to go back to rubbing our hands again to warm them up. And this time we're going to take the hands to our shoulders and create whatever version of a hug, a self-hug that's got a bit of a stretch and a bit of a hug. You can drop the chin. And then, again, a nice deep breath. And as you enjoy this moment of self-care, you can set your intention for your practice today. And then very slowly unwind. So Thich Nhat Hanh is a Vietnamese Buddhist monk. And he has suggested that we actually go beyond just acknowledging that we have difficult emotions. And he even suggests that we embrace them. Now, I don't know about you, but that's not usually the way I react to a negative emotion. You know, the first thing for me is ignore it, distract. Yes, Lori, push it away, numb out from it. Like just do something so you don't have to acknowledge it's there. But this time in our history, where we sort of have a collective anxiety, I feel like we're being called to sort of access a level of emotional stability as a gift for ourselves and for other people. So if we want to become stronger in this area, to begin to sit with difficult emotions, we have to consider how would we become stronger if it was a physical activity. So let's say we were doing body weight exercises. You'd add a resistance band to get stronger. Or if you were a runner, you would add pace or length of time running. You would add more difficult challenges in slowly in a way that would help you build strength and tone in those areas. It's very similar with difficult emotions. So today I'd like to suggest that we sit with some difficult emotions in a way that where we feel safe and protected, and add our resistance and resilience level to be able to do that. So let's come and find a comfortable seated position. So our hips are higher than our knees, and our shoulders are over our hips, and ears over our shoulders. So settle in and find a strong but soft posture. You can settle the mind on your breath, on a sound, or on something you can softly rest your eyes on. Imagine you are sitting in the safest place you can think of. It can be real or imaginary. It's a place where you feel completely protected and supported. In this safe space, you are breathing slowly in and out. And if at any point during this meditation you feel overwhelmed, then please pause, take a break, do a self-hug. You are in charge of your safe space and your practice. So first, I'm going to ask you just to notice. Become aware of any difficult emotions that arise when you think about the future. Can you identify and name one that may be most accessible to you right now? And notice where this one emotion seems to be living up or living in or showing up in your body. Scan your body to see where you feel it when you think about this emotion. And if you have a sense of where it is in your body, what are the sensations you feel? A tightness, a heaviness, a coldness, a numbness. Now that you've noticed this, the second thing I'm going to ask is that you consider staying with it. When you recognize your old pattern of distracting or ignoring or numbing, see if you can just stay with this emotion. Breathe. Training your mind to be an ally takes practice and resistance. So just stay and breathe. And are there any images that come up that you can associate with this emotion? And now we're going to see if we can move on to acceptance. You've stayed with the emotion now. Is there a way that you can accept it? And what would that look like to you to accept this heavy and negative emotion? And I'd like you to consider, what would it happen if you invited it to sit next to you? Maybe not too close, just maybe in the vicinity, in your safe space. What happens in your body when you even consider sitting down next to this difficult emotion? Resist the urge to judge if this suggestion is just not okay with you. And if you're resisting it or inviting the emotion to sit near you, what changes in your breathing? Now that you have acknowledged the emotion and possibly sat next to it or resisted that, it's time to ask it to leave. For now, this visit is over. So whatever image or awareness you have of the emotion, imagine it leaving your safe space. Imagine yourself closing the door behind it, knowing that it will visit again, but for right now, in this present moment, it's gone from your space. You can deepen your breathing. Coming back to resting your mind just on your breath going in and out, or a sound nearby. Notice the sensations in your body now. Do a quick body scan of the places you normally hold tension in your neck, your shoulders, or your belly. And if you like, you can keep your eyes closed while I read this poem, or you can open them gently and let them rest softly in front of you. This is Mary Oliver. I worried a lot. Will the garden grow? Will the rivers flow in the right direction? Will the earth turn as it was taught? And if not, how shall I correct it? Was I right? Was I wrong? Will I be forgiven? Can I do better? Will I ever be able to sing? Even the sparrows can do it. And I am, well, hopeless. Is my eyesight fading, or am I just imagining it? Am I going to get rheumatism, lockjaw, dementia? Finally, I saw that worrying had come to nothing, and I gave it up. And I took my old body and went out into the morning and sang. So much gratitude for the traditions and teachers who have given form and function to this practice, and for your courage to sit with difficult emotions. It's a real testament to your resilience. And as always, Glenn and Lori, I'm grateful for you, grateful that we got to sit together today. So hold on to your courage and see you next time when we practice compassion for ourselves and for others. Thank you. Namaste.